Hello, hello, hello. I am back with more art things. I'm still in an art mood, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to do some color swatches of my markers. I have done color swatches of these before, but my color swatch page is actually getting really old. As you can see, it's kind of stained. So I just want to redo them so that it looks nice. Plus, I kind of find it really relaxing, and if I find it relaxing, then other people must also. So I wanted to do that, and I just wanted to replace this one because it's old and it's got water on it, and I really kind of wanted to make this into a notebook of swatches. So I thought that would be really fun because there's nothing better than looking at a nice swatch when you're not sure what color you want to go with. Now, these are kind of juicy markers, and what I mean by juicy is whenever you write down in them, they are going to expand a lot. Also, they do definitely go through paper, and I have some examples of things I've colored with these before. So I have this very simple coloring book, and what I like to do with this coloring book is I like to try to practice doing certain colors with it. I have a book where it gives me different swatch colors and things that go together, and I will use that palette to color these things. Like, for example, I used these particular markers, so I put the numbers of the markers that I used on here, and then only did those colors on here, and then I just used some stickles to make it look a little bit prettier. So I got that one. This was also done with one. Follow your arrow and see, look, it's really juicy. It definitely goes through. You have to have a piece of paper behind it, otherwise it's going to go through. This one's really simple, and I love how this does. Now, as you can see, I did these close together, so what I did is I did this one and then I flipped over and did this. But because this wasn't fully dry, it did leak onto the next page. So this is one where if you do a swatch or if you do colors with these particular markers, you may want to just leave that tissue paper there until it's fully dry, because I don't think a heat gun will help you with it. See, look at that. It does look really cool from behind though, but even this, you might want to leave the tissue paper on both sides, because what happened is this color actually transferred onto this one. So it definitely is a liquidy type of marker, but I do enjoy playing with them quite a bit. I do enjoy that quite a bit. See, this one, even though I had tissue paper when I was coloring it, after I removed it, it was still a little bit wet, but it does look pretty cool the way it transferred over like that. So I'm not entirely mad about it. That looks pretty funny there. This is the circle that actually came through to that next sheet of paper. There's a camel. Got some arrows, some plants, some just different shape profiles, another dream catcher, and then that's pretty much where I've gotten in this book of coloring with these markers. So like I said, I just wanted to do a new swatch with it, and this time I'm going to leave the tissue paper on the back of it after I'm done. That way, as it dries, it's not going to interrupt my other swatches, because I don't want this to transfer over to other colors that I'm testing, because then that kind of ruins the point. And then the book that I was using to test those in that marker book is just the Vibes color palettes. It's color schemes for graphic designers, illustrators, and artists. And it's just simply different swatches. And what I did is I actually went through and numbered each of these, because what I want to do is eventually I want to actually be able to make something kind of like what we made last time, but with numbers. And then if I go to do a color book page or something, I want to be able to draw that number and then be able to use whatever color palette is in this book to finish that. So I think that would be a really fun and really cool idea. But yeah, this is the color swatch book that I have that I think is really fun. And I honestly just got this one off of Amazon, but it has so many different colors, and it just makes you think of things that you would never would have thought of before. Like, there's different holiday colors in here, the names and schemes that, you know, they explain that some of those color palettes are used for. So it's just really interesting and it kind of inspires me to try and limit my color choices more so that my colors don't get overwhelming, because sometimes I get overwhelmed if there's too many. So we are gonna go ahead and swatch these. Now, with these markers, like I said, they do leak in the back, so I do have just a tissue paper back here. I could, I guess, make it go up a little bit and just fold it up. I just didn't want to have all this extra loose leaf paper. But that way we don't accidentally let it melt through, because that would be bad. So with these are actually a set that I got from my mother-in-law. Hi, Mom. And she had gotten me these really cool art markers. I think she had been using them for cards and then decided that she didn't want them anymore. So she asked if I would like them, and I said, well, yes, ma'am, I would love them. So these are the Shuttle Art markers, and it is a dual-sided tip. So you have a fat side, or a broad tip, and you have a skinny side, or a fine tip. So you do get both of those in there, which is quite nice. And they do have some sort of numbers on them and conforms to, but I don't know what any of that means, so I'm just gonna go by whatever their number is. In this case, this is the only one that for no apparent reason doesn't have a number. But I'm just gonna go through the number and just kind of blot each of them. And like I said, I find this really relaxing. You might find it boring. That's okay. Maybe just watch this and help yourself take a nap. I don't mind that. So we're just gonna go ahead and go through all these, and then as I do them, I'm just gonna put them away. That way I have new color swatches of them. So I'm just gonna double check my alignment with the camera real quick to make sure that I stay in the image, because I like turning things sideways whenever I do it. So I apologize, it's just kind of me. I've always been like a sideways drawer and stuff. I'm gonna try to stay in the camera as much as I can. So this one here does not have a number. Not really sure why this one doesn't have one. So I just put it in as null, or like less than 0. So I'm gonna do a broad, and I'm gonna do a skinny. So got that one in there. This one here is 0, which should just be white. With this one, whenever it dries, it truly is white. So I don't know if maybe this one should be eventually tested on black too. I have no idea if these show up on black. I did kind of draw a little bit in that coloring book on some black, and you could kind of see like where some of those were, but it didn't really show up those same colors on black. So I'm not really sure what that white is meant to do, other than these are alcohol markers, so it's probably more for blending purposes, but you'd really want to clean that tip afterwards. So this is number 1 of our art marker. So we've got broad, we've got our line. Look at that. That white is already drying in there, and you can barely see it already. It's crazy. This one's number 2. Number 3. It's probably a little hard to tell, but as soon as I write with them, they do expand quite a bit. So this is one where I would recommend, no matter which tip you use, do it like lightly and don't push too hard, otherwise it's definitely going to go outside the lines. Now we're skipping to 6, because this is one where it didn't have every single color in it. I mean, it was a full pack, but sometimes those packs don't, different numbers sometimes are discontinued. So it doesn't have every single color in it, which is totally fine because there's more than enough. Number 7. I really like how that 6 is. That 6 is one of my favorite kinds of pinks. It's kind of like a neon pink. Number 9. Number 11. Number 14. Number 15. Number 17. Wow, that one's very neon and bright. It's really cool when you see some of these, because see, I would never know that this color right here would be this really vibrant color. So that's why you don't want to just go by the lids. Sometimes the lids are a very different color than what you actually get on the paper, which is why it's really important to do these. Number 21. And the reason why I'm showing all sides of the marker is because those coatings don't make sense to me, but if somebody actually uses these, it might make sense to them. So I am showing the whole marker. Number 22. That's a pretty orange. Kind of a rusty color. Number 24. Number 25. Number 26. Oops, didn't quite get that line as thick as I would like it. Some good skin tone colors in here for both the browns and the peaches. Number 34. Number 35, kind of a canary yellow looking color. Ooh, that's a bright yellow. That is not canary. Number 38. That's more of a canary yellow, it looks like. Next is 41. Oh, see, I would not have realized that that was such a green color. Look at that. So on the lid, it's kind of like a little off yellow, like a greenish yellow, but on paper, this is more of an olive tone. $42. $43. That's a pretty green. Next, we've got 46. Yeah, 46. Ooh. That's what I consider more of a true green. Next, we've got 48. $51. Next is 53. If this color is true, then this is going to be a really pretty color, so I'm a little excited about this one. Oh yeah, that's a very pretty color. I really like teal blues and teal greens. This is what I consider like a turquoisey teal color. I love that. 54. Oop, here's the broadside. Next is 55. $59. That one is what my mother-in-law would call a Grinch green. Next we have 64. Next is 65. $66. $67. Ooh, that's a pretty color too. It's a very turquoisey color. 68. I'm starting to get a little bit closer to this area here. So what I did was with the broad tip and with the fine tip, I put lots of love. When I was in probably maybe freshman year, I want to say, I was in a classroom, I think it was my chemistry classroom, and someone had written lots of love on a marker board or something like that. And afterwards I used to sign everything with lots of love, Keisha. So I thought it would be fun, instead of testing hello in cursive, to test lots of love in both broad and fine. So that's where I got that at. So I'll just do it a little bit shorter as I get in here so I don't accidentally run into the testing there. So we got 69. 71. 76. 'This next one's kind of funny. So it's 81, but originally I thought it was 18. So I had this random purple over here in the pink. So I was like, why is that like that? And then I realized it's an 81, not an 18. Some of these are a little hard to tell which one's which, just because like the 6s and the 9s look exactly the same. So I kind of had to guess on a few of these. But this one's 81. It's a very vibrant purple. 83. 85. Ooh, it's like a magenta. You know, I think the craziest thing I've ever read about magenta is that to us, this looks like a purpley color, right? But apparently true magenta is actually a type of gray that our eyes can't really process, so it turns it into this color. It's very weird. Like, Google the magenta. Just Google the definition of magenta and you'll see what I mean. It's very strange. 87. 'I'm gonna scooch these guys over here some more so I can get to them. Oh. Okay. 91. Oh, we're gonna have to start getting smaller lines over here. I got a little close. 92. Get us a little tiny short chunky guy here. 95. 'And then this one is 98. This is another one that originally I thought it was a different number because it honestly looks like it should be an 86. But then whenever I was looking at the 86s, that was purple. That should have been a purple. So I think this is 98 because it's a brown. So I had to just kind of go with my gut there. 101. 'Not quite a straight line. There we go. I'm done. I'll flip it over. That way you can see how much these bled through already, because I'm sure that it has. We've got 103. line might annoy me because it's a little bit diagonally. Try to straighten it up a little bit. There we go. 120 is our black, which this is actually the one that I tested these writings in. So that's 120. Next is 122. Wow, that is vibrant and poppin'. Would you have told me that that pumpkin-y color, like neon pumpkin, would come out of that? There's no way. 123. Wow, that is a very neon yellow too, so we must be in kind of like a neon area. Interesting. So next are going to be gray scales. So we've got BG1. So probably a blue-gray one if I had to guess. I don't know, I didn't look up what those meant, so I'm just making it up. But we got BG1. BG5, so blue-gray 5. Next is CG1. If I had to guess, I would think C would stand for cool, so maybe cool gray 1. CG3 or cool gray 3. Uh-oh. Does cool gray 3 not have a... I didn't put a thing for it. Well, luckily there's just enough room here that I'm gonna put CG3. So it'll be just a little out of order, but that's gonna be okay. They're all grays, so it's not really gonna bother me much. Oh, that's weird. That kind of did like a scrapey there, like a black scrape. Huh. Kind of a weird color. CG7 or cool gray 7. GG5. So what could GG5 mean? Maybe a green? Green gray 5 maybe? Oops, that's not the right side. Here we go. Or maybe just gray gray 5. This is gray gray. The next ones start with W, so I'm gonna assume they're warm grays. This one kind of makes me laugh because it's WG0.5. So there's apparently just a WGO and there's a 0.5 model. So it'd be kind of funny to be able to see those two close to each other. I don't have a regular white gray or warm gray one, but that would be funny. So warm gray 0.5. Warm gray 2. W gray 5, so warm gray 5. What you doing, Nina? My dog Rowena has come to visit us. She's seeing what we're doing. She's like, hello. So you might be hearing little sounds, and if so, that's probably her sniffing around. Hi, good girl. Hi, good girl. Are you looking at mommy's art stuff? You are. You're so cute. And our last one is Warm Gray 8, or WG8. Yeah. So now we've got those swatches done. So I'm just gonna hold it up to the camera to get a little bit of a closer view of those. So you can kind of just see all of the different colors there. But yeah, and those were the Shuttle Art markers. So once again, they are very juicy, and I'm actually gonna flip this over, and you're gonna see they went straight through. And if I were to move this out of the way, then this would go onto my next swatch page, which we don't want because I want to also do my Posca markers today. So what we're gonna do is we're definitely gonna make sure that this stays right where it is. That way we don't get a bleed through, because we don't wanna do that. So give me one moment, and I'm just gonna set up my page so that we can do our swatches, and I'll get those out, and then we will continue. So one moment. All right, so I've got my Poscas marked here. So I've got 14 Poscas, I've got pink through white, and so we'll do that. Now, one thing I am gonna do is, do you see how there's two different squares? Well, what I would like to do is I'm actually gonna take the black Posca pen, and these are acrylic markers, so I'm just going to use it to color in this with a black paint, because what we're going to do is when that black paint dries, I'm going to put an X over it with that color so we can see what it shows up in over black. So real quick, I'm just going to color those in. I just wanted to explain what I was doing before I did that, in case you wanted to do something like that, because you don't need to get out a black paint, you know, black paint for that, or a paintbrush, because that's entirely what the Posca's job is. It is in fact a black acrylic paint, so it should dry pretty fast. I will probably hit it with a heat gun before we go with the other colors. It is just a good idea. So I'm just gonna color those in real quick. And I'm just gonna try to make sure I stay in the square a little bit. It's really funny, like, I have always enjoyed art, but I would never say that I'm a colorist, because I am the worst at staying in lines. Like, I know that that's something that seems rather elementary, but sometimes, I don't know if I just get impatient or what it is, but it's just really easy for me not to follow a line. And I'll just kind of go whack-a-doodle with it. So I am going a little bit slower to make sure that I actually do stay in that line. Yeah. Because it's just a nice thing to do, I think. Because it'll make this page look really nice too. Because even though I am using these for color swatches, I mean, I'd like them to look at least somewhat uniform. I don't know, there's something just really pleasing about colors that are together. And I am someone who does enjoy looking at colors. So this is really mostly for my enjoyment. Though it is, like I said, really important to understand what colors you're using. That way you don't go to pick up a color and then use it. Like, I know, for example, out of my Poscas, the red is not a true red. To me, it's like a light red, which is kind of hard to explain until you see it, but it's like a milky red. And it's not really something that I'd pick up if I wanted a true red. And I wouldn't know that unless I've used it before. So this is just going to be something really nice and easy to refer to so that I know what's going on with it and what's what. You know. What? Whee. One thing I will say about Poscas is, just from using them for so many years, you always want to clean the tips if you're going to either like put colors next to other colors, or if you're going to be using that pen for a long time, because what'll happen is at the end of these pens you'll get like what some people call a paint booger. But it's like this weird crusty bit that starts forming along the top of it, and then it'll actually start messing up what you're doing. So just make sure when you're using your Poscas that you are keeping them clean. I just simply use a paper towel and just like take off that little booger that pops up. But it's up to you what you end up doing, because if you start painting with that, what'll happen is your booger's going to travel with you, and then you're going to end up with a weird bump drawing on your page. Or it might start doing like a weird scrapey sound, which is really annoying. So just keep in mind, if you're using Poscas, you got to keep the tips clean. Just the tip. All right, so we've got that in there. And then I'm probably just gonna hit that with a heat gun real quick just to make sure that it fully dries. That way we don't have to worry about it. So I am going to do that real quick. Give me just one moment, it might be a little loud, sorry. Where'd my switch go? So that should be good enough here. So to get Posca pens going, sometimes they can be a little obnoxious. I love Poscas, but you know, sometimes tools of trades are just weird. I'm gonna get a paper towel real quick. And what I do to get mine started is first you always shake them. They've got like a ball inside of them or something that helps. I'm gonna fold a piece of paper towel in half here. And what you do to get them going is, because sometimes they won't write right away, this one did, which is cool, but otherwise what you do is you push and it does that. So sometimes they can get a little liquidy when you're doing that. So I'm just going to use this pink and color it in. There we go. Get ourselves a good bit of paint there. And then right here over the black, I'm just gonna make an X so that we can see it. And then what's gonna happen is it's gonna dry, and then we can really actually see what it would look like over black acrylic paint, which is good. Oh, I'll put these away as I go, that way I don't get them all mixed up. But that's what I like to do. Other people might like to do something different, but I feel like this is a really good way to test it. This is that red, which I said is kind of like not really a true red. To me, it's like a milky color. So with this one, I would really just want to see what it would look like beforehand before using it. There we go. And then I'll put that away. Here's our orange. Nice pumpkin-y orange, or maybe construction orange is what we should call that. Yellow. Ooh, that one's really juicy. These are actually a couple years old, which is another reason why this is a good idea to do. I think it's always good to test your paint markers every couple years, because sometimes they can start drying out and stuff, and then you might need a new one. So that's another reason why I'm doing this. These are at least 3 years old, I would think. Well, maybe they're older than that. I think I've had these since before I had Ronin, so these might be almost 5 years old now. They're old. Yeah. You know what? I think I did get these before I had Ronin. Wow, that's nuts to think about. Oops, see, this has a cloudy like water to it. So for this one, I would want to make sure this tip's very dry before I start using it, because and this tip is discolored a bit. So this one is telling me, hey, you might want to replace your light green soon, which that's a good thing to know. And I wouldn't know unless I tested it. I know that seems like it's like wasting it, and maybe it is, but I mean, It'll be okay. I'm not terribly worried about it. Like, I use these infrequently enough. Like, I feel like I use the black and the white the most. And the rest is just kind of extra. So, I'm not super worried about that. Light blue. It's like a powdery blue. This one is dark blue. That one probably could have dealt with a bit more shaking, I think. Seems a little watery. That blue is kind of hard. It doesn't show up super good on that. So that might be a good one for if you want to do like stars that are far away. Because stars that are further away, they're not going to be as bright. They're going to have kind of like an off-cast color, and I learned that from the JWST satellite. Like sometimes you'll see them as like red and stuff, just because they're further away. So it's a nice purple. Oh, I haven't opened this one. Silver. Let's see if I can get it open here. I don't really have the strongest nails ever. Here we go. I got part of it off and the rest is like, no, I want to stay. Don't take me from my home. Oh dear. I wonder if I can. Oh no. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Now this is stuck. All right. I wonder if I have a pair of scissors over here or something that can help me. Oh, I've almost got it off the lid. Goodness, that is really on there. Maybe I can use this thing. There we go. Now it's starting to come off there. That really didn't want to come off. So if you've never opened a paint pen before, this is what it looks like. So it has like a white tip to it, and it's dry. To get it going, you shake it, and then you just press it down, and you just keep doing it until the color comes. That's all you gotta do. So this one's supposed to be like a silver. You can see it's got like little glittery bits in it. Probably can't really see it from the camera, but ooh, you can really see it on black though. So it's like a glittery paint. Metallic-y, I guess. Now for this one, we're just gonna do the opposite. I'm just gonna put an X here. And it's just gonna have to be opposite. If I would have thought about it, I would have switched them, but oh well. As the great Bob Ross said, happy little accidents never hurt nobody. Brown, ooh, that brown didn't have very much. There we go. Some brown. It's kind of like a lighter brown, it looks like. I call that poop brown. Okay. We've got gold. Oh, that gold needed to be. There we go. I have a different gold too that's a different brand that I might do a little swatch of below it because I like it a lot better than this one, I think. So this one looks good if you want some dark sparkle, but it's not like my other gold. My other gold is this one from Craftsmart. And I have a white and a gold of that one. So let's see. So what I'll probably do is after I swatch those, I'll swatch these two after so that you can see the difference. And then I'll hold it up to the camera. And then we've got white. Has that been used? Oh yeah, it was juicy. She said hello. Okay, so we got that there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a line across here like that to separate it. And we're gonna do the, let's see, these are called Craft Smart markers. I've got two of those. I've got a broad gold and the second one I've got is fine white. And the broad and fine, what I'm referring to is just the tips of them. So then we'll do the same thing here. I'll show you because I kind of think that the gold for these, for this broad gold is better. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute on the black. So we'll do this. I'll probably use the heat gun again. Just like that. Okay. Let me get my heat gun out again. And we'll get that black there situated. It really doesn't take much to dry it. Okay. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the same thing. So you shake them, and just like with those, if this was brand new, you would just tap it on there. I've used this recently, so I don't think I need to do that. So I go there. See, it's more vibrant. Look at that. Completely crazy how much more gold it is than that one. And then let me do this white one, and we'll take a look at that too. I haven't used this one as much. Ooh, this one's got some pink on the tip. There we go. I think, there we go. A little harder to see there, but let's see. Ah, there we go. Definitely not as fine of a line, but it does appear to be brighter. Now, two things to keep in mind here. Those Posca pens are like 5 years old, whereas these guys, I literally just got these at either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one of the two. I got them last week. So this could also just be an old versus new thing, because these are dinosaur old and these are brand new. But let me push this up here so that you can see it. And you can kind of see the differences there. And I'm gonna kind of go like this a little bit so that you can hopefully see the metallic-y bits to it. So it's also, this gold is much more metallic for sure. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to also test some more paints that I have, because I had just a couple more swatches that I wanted to do today. And they also involve paints. So I have these Paul Rubens sets. So I've got this set here, and then I also have this bigger set here, and I love Paul Rubens, they're very pretty. This set hasn't even been opened yet. So I figured, and these are all the metallic-y ones, which are really fun. Like these ones, we'll want to test those on both black and white, because the glitter actually makes them show up on black, which is really cool. So those are the last two swatches that I will do today, and then that should end this video. So what I'm going to do before I close this to get to the next page is I'm going to take that piece of paper I had. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. And I'm going to keep it in between here because we don't want any of that marker to come through over to our Posca page, because that would be quite sad. It would defeat our purpose. And I'm also just going to hit the heat gun over this one more time, just because these are acrylic paints and I want to make sure that they're fully dry before I close the page. No matter what, it's going to be okay because of this, but we just don't want it to smear. And then just give me a moment to set up for the Paul Rubens, and I'll be right back. So I decided instead of putting the page together, I would just do it together with you. Now, something I really like about these is they are very protected. So if you drop these, you know, it's fine. Because not only do they have that, but they have this like cool little tray. And this tray you individually get to put in here yourself, which is really cool. So I'm going to go through each of the colors and write them down, and then we will test them. So the first one I've got is Coal Black. My Sharpie's like, why are you using me so much today? So we got Coal Black. Next, we've got Burned Brown. And what I thought we would do is whenever I go do this, I'll just do the swoosh out to the side of it. So I think that'll be best. And then I could do like a dark and then go whoop, like that. So there's that one. And then just to pinch them back in, they've got these little pincher things. And you just go like that, and then it just kind of locks it in place. Kind of nice. I've never honestly seen a watercolor set that nice before. Okay, next is Burned Sienna. After that is Umber. And what I do is once I tear off the tops, like see how this set here that I haven't opened yet has the tops on it. When I peel the tops off, what I do is I put them underneath the color. That way, no matter what, because what if I lose this swatch book? What if it gets ruined or something? Then I have a backup so that I can still have it, which is nice. So this one was Umber. The next one is Pozzuoli Red Ochre. That's a mouthful. Let's see. Pozzuoli, P-O-Z-Z-U-O-L-I, Red Ochre. Interesting. Then we've got Yellow Ochre. Next is emerald without a D, so emerald green deep. Emerald green deep. Ooh, oh no. Next, Hooker's Green Brilliant? But there's not an A in there. Brilliant. I don't know. I will spell it and somebody can correct me on how to pronounce that. So Hooker's Green, and then they have BRILLIGNT. Brilliant? That can't be how brilliant is spelled, is it? Huh. Maybe it's just fancy. Because I swear to goodness, brilliant has an A in it, but it's okay. Tree green. Yellow green. Payne's gray. And they're spelling PAYN''S, gray. Prussian blue. Prussian. I like that word, Prussian. It's a cool word. Okay, now we're on our other side here because there's 24 colors in this set. So we've got sea blue, sky blue, France Ultramarine. Some of these have such fun names. France Ultramarine. I have a friend in France. Her name is Oceane. I wonder if she is familiar with France Ultramarine. Like maybe it's like the color on their flag or something. That'd be a curious question to ask her. Cobalt blue. Reminds me of the cobalt blue tarantula. Permanent violet. This one is just violet. Madder red, like the Mad Hatter, I'm assuming. Scarlet. Ooh, goodness. I almost pinched myself with that. Cadmium Red Light. I love cadmium glass. Does anybody collect glass? We do. Love cadmium glass. Oh, that's the one I just looked at, my bad. This one is Indian Yellow. This one is Cadmium Yellow Medium. And this one is Permanent Yellow, or Permanent Lemon Yellow. And I think real quick before I do this, I'm going to write down, because I love cadmium glass, and that reminded me that I would like to maybe at some point try to paint and draw some. That'd be really fun. But what should you do when you have an idea? Write it down. So I'm gonna write it down. So I'm just gonna put here, idea. Cadmium glowing glass. That'd be really fun to either draw or paint. So next time I'm in a painting mood, or you know, if I'm in a mood to try something different, I could possibly do that. Okay. So now we've got those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up my watercolor pen here. I haven't used it in a while, so it might be a little gross. I'm going to rinse it out real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got my pen with some water in it now. If you haven't used these are really cool. So you can actually get these on Amazon, and they're for watercoloring specifically. And you just fill them with water and give it a little squeeze, and you get some water out of it, which is really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go one at a time through these. I'm going to start with this top row because that's where we started here. And I'm just going to give it a swish of some color. And something really nice is you can capture the color on these and you can play with them on the 10. So you can do that, or you can just do a little bit of whatever you want. So I've got some black in here. And I'm just going to go swoosh. Like that. So I can see what it looks like dark, and I get a little bit of swish of that light. And then to clean it off, you just kind of give it some more water. You just wipe it off until you no longer see the color anymore. And then you keep going, and this paint will naturally dry by itself because it is, you know, after all meant for that. It is a watercolor paint. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to swish it a bit. Get that color on that tip. And then swish. Makes it kind of fun. Make sure I'm still in focus there, and I am. So then just to get rid of the color, I'm going to squeeze a little bit so some water gets on the brush, and then just wipe it free. Next we've got Burnt Sienna, so let's see what that is. Go like that. Okay. Now I'm on number 4, which is Umber. Get some of that on there. Now we've got Patchouli Red, which is also a type of ochre from its descriptions. Let's see. Give it the swish and flick. Yellow ochre. Give that some more water there. Oh, might have gotten a little bit much water with that one. No, it's okay. Might need a new towel there. Okay, next we've got Emerald Deep Green. Oh, that's going to be a pretty green, I can already tell. Yeah, it's very pretty. Let's see, just swipes clean. You just want to get it to where all that color is off so you're not mixing your colors. You want to mix your colors in the tray, not in there. Okay, so this next one is Hooker Green. What a name. I'm sure Hooker's a person, but I don't know for sure. I swear I'm not calling y'all that. Tree Green. Oh, this is a very planty green. Next is Yellow Green. It's very bright. Nice, pretty color. Oh, that one's down all the way. Oh, I see, it's got two of the things under it. That's okay. All right, this next one is Payne's Gray. That's a very pretty, kind of almost blue gray in a way. My great-grandmother's last name was Gray. Let's see, Prussian Blue. It's a very pretty color. Sea Blue is next. So that's this one over here. Very similar color, it just has more of a deep blue to me. It's almost like a royal blue. Okay. Next is Sky Blue. Then we've got France Ultramarine. So I'm assuming this is going to be a pretty deep blue. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Most of his paints, these Paul Rubens, are very pretty. Next is Cobalt Blue. Permanent Violet. Wow, that's a very deep purple. That's very pretty. That color captured really well too. Let's see here. Then we've got Violet. To me, that's more of a magenta color. Okay. Madder Red. So that's kind of a pinky red to me. And then let's see here. We've got Scarlet next. And then we've got cadmium red light. So this is more of an orangey color. It's weird. I wanted to make a weird little hole there. Watercolors be doing watercolor things. All right, then we've got Indian yellow. Pretty nice gold looking yellow. Then we've got cadmium yellow medium. And lastly, we've got permanent lemon yellow. All right. So now I'm just going to take my heat gun and dry those real quick. And that's great because now we can really see what these colors are. So I will close this. I'm going to keep my pen out because I want it for my other color testings. I'm just going to close these back up. Put it back in my drawer for it. And then I will hold these up so you can see it. So this is what the colors look like. Oh, here's the lid to my Sharpie. I didn't realize I left my Sharpie open. So that's those colors. And then we are also gonna do these watercolors. I wanna see if these bled through. They didn't, because what I was thinking about doing is maybe a double page for this one, just because maybe that would be better so we could see both of the colors, because I also wanna do black on one half too. Because I want to be able to see both of them. So give me a moment and I will prepare for that. Okay, so I have set these up quite a little bit differently because I accidentally left the cap off of my black marker and it dried out. So this is purple now. Also, I miscounted and thought there were 50 in this set. They're actually 48, which makes a lot more sense because I went through twice and thought I messed up, but I didn't. I can't count apparently because there's 48. So I am going to go through these and I am just going to dismantle it with you. So this will be the first time I've ever used this before, and there's always just like this little rack thing that you can take out, which is quite nice. There we go. So I've got it out. I'm going to set the case to the side and I'm just going to go through this with you. And these will be the last color swatches that I do for the day. Because I think you've seen me color swatch quite a few things. 2 sets of markers and 2 sets of paints, that's plenty to work with. So hopefully that'll give you some ideas of things to do with your own. So I am going to start here. Now these are numbered kind of odd. So instead of them having names, these actually just have really, really little numbers on them. I don't know if you can see that or not. But they are not numbered like the other ones were, so it's different. Okay. So the first one I'm going to start out with is the C100, and what I do is when I take it off, you can see it's just a little sticker. So I'm going to take it off there, just like that. And then what I do is I fold it in because it's still sticky. Oh my goodness. goodness, there are names on it. They're just on the side. So C100 is actually pearl silver white. Interesting. So maybe I'll put it that way I can see it. But I'm not going to redo all this. That was way too much work. So the first one that I'm going to do is this one. So I'm just going to get just a little wet here. Get it saturated. I can see a bit of glitter there. I think it's on. Okay. So I've gotten it pretty liquefied there, and I'm going to do it on this black first. Swash. So we can see it. And then I'm also going to do it right to the side of it. Swash. So you can't really see it on the white, but we can see it on that black, which is good. And after I'm done, just like the other one, I will pull it up. So then to pop it back in here, you can either pop it under like that, or you can use this little aluminum thing to capture it in more. It's up to you. So now I'm gonna just wipe off that brush again, get that silver off of there. This next one is called, let's see here, get the sticker off. Okay, so this next one is Fashing Pearl, or Pearlescent. Fashing Pearl. So I'm just gonna set that one in there, and we're gonna get it nice and saturated. The other one, it took a second to saturate. So unlike the other one where it just like immediately went in, you do have to swish this around a little bit. And I think it's because it has that glitter in there. Let's see, I think that might be enough. And boop. So that's very just glittery, very faint and glittery. Boop. Okay, so it's very pearlescent. So I've got that guy in there. So I'll just pop her back in. Okay, the next one, let's see what it's called. This one's blue of some sort. This one's called Flash Blue. Take a look and see what that looks like. Oh, it's kind of like it's very pearly. Very pearly. So, Flash Blue. Whoops. So delicate. There we go. So let's try this out here. I'm gonna get it nice and gooey. Ooh, it's very pretty. Okay. Oh, that's very pretty. Let's see if I can. So it's interesting. On these, you can barely see it on the white, but that black is really the way to go with these, I think. Because otherwise, it's just an off, like clear with just a hint of the color, but on the black, you can really see it. So maybe these are more meant for black paint, which is a good thing to know. Like I said, I've never used these before. I've seen them in action before, like I've seen things made with them, and I've always wanted a set. And I've had these for a couple of years now. I just hadn't had a chance to pull them out. So this one is Pearl Platinum. So I'm imagining a pearly silver when I hear Pearl Platinum. So let's see. It's kind of got like a gold in there. Stick that puppy in there. Okay, let's get our paint saturated. Oh, there we go. Get it nice and swishy. It's kind of interesting. You can't really see it on the camera, but you can tell when you've gotten it swished because you can see the pearlescent swishing. So, ooh, that's almost like a gold. Okay. Okay, I see you, boo. Yeah. All right. Very pretty. Okay. And let's see what our next color is here. Oop, that one didn't want to go back in there. And what I'll probably do is after I get done with this row, I'll dry it first and then show you what it looks like up close before we go on to these bottom ones. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so this one's probably going to be a kind of gold as well. This one is called Flash Yellow. Okay, so Flash Yellow. Stick that in there so we can see it later. Alright, swish her about a bit. It's not super yellow in my opinion. Oh, but it is on the white. Okay, so it must depend. So like on this, it looks just like kind of like more glitter than anything, but on the white, you can definitely see it. Okay. Yeah. Make sure we're still in frame here. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Okay. All right, so this one. Now on this one, I definitely would not go by any of these sparkle things on the top. That's because those, yeah, they're supposed to show you what the color is, but that's like a perfect version of them. And you know, it's watercolor. Watercolor, you're never gonna get perfection. So this is just giving you an about's what it is, not really what it actually is. So this one I definitely would recommend swatching for yourself as well. That's why we're doing it. Okay, so this one is called Apricot. Try it out. These are really nice. Ooh, that's pretty. Very sparkly. Okay. So the next one we've got is Deep Interference Yellow. So another kind of gold color. Very gold. Okay. Yeah, get in there, bud. There we go. There we go. This one is Deep Interference Orange. Feels like football terms or something. Pearly orange. I'm really excited to eventually do like a project with these because I think these are going to be very pretty. Ooh. Yeah, that's very pretty. This one is Symphony Yellow. So I think by symphony they mean kind of like a brass instrument, because that kind of reminds me of like a color that you'd see on like a tuba or something. Maybe a trombone, trumpety, you know, it's just a musical color. Yeah, very musical. It's kind of funny as I'm doing this, I can see the glitter moving around, so it's kind of funny. So the glitter kind of travels with the watercolor. Okay. Dipped my thumb in it on accident. All right. This one is called Green Green Gold. It's not just green gold, green green gold. Doesn't look very green though, does it? It's kind of a brassy looking color too. Maybe it's the tone. So let's see what kind of tone we get out of this one. Because right now I'm not really seeing a lot of green with this one, so I'm very curious about it. So maybe as the color moves around, we'll see it. No? No? Looks pretty brassy to me. Interesting. Okay. See, can't go by the name sometimes. So maybe it is better that I wrote down all the color numbers instead on accident. Okay, so next we've got Royal Gold. Okay, so this should be a Royal Gold. This one kind of looks like it has a coppery tone, according to the wrapper, but we can't go by that wrapper, so let's see. Pretty. Yeah, that's very pretty. Yeah, it's interesting. C4703 was not the green green one. The green green one is this one down here, but to me this one's more of more of a green tone. Okay, this one is called Bronze Satin. So I'm gonna try that one. Oh, that is a very pretty bronzy color, isn't it? Ooh. That one shows up pretty good on both. Okay, and that gets our top row done. Okay, so now we are on to our next row here. Just plug in the charger here and make sure we don't accidentally turn off. Okay, there we go. All right. So then the next one that we're gonna do our next row here. And this one is Bronze. So this one just has the name just Bronze. So let's see what it looks like. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, this one is called Flash Red. This one's probably going to show up a little bit better on the water, but it does give us some nice pink glitter in there. It's pretty. Kind of a lipsticky color. Okay. This one is called Deep Interference Red. It's not just deep red, it's deep interference red. I always think that's funny that they have such extra names to them. Oh, that's nice. That red shows up pretty good on the black. Yeah, that one tried to fly away. Okay. This one is Wine Red. Pretty color. Ooh, look at how nice that pulls on that black. You know, that's pretty true to its name. That is a really nice wine color. Sometimes I question the names of these things, but that one's pretty good. Give up in there, buddy. Let's see here. Oh, what happened there? It's interesting. I accidentally got some of a different color in there on accident, I think. It was weird. Unless some, I wonder if whenever it's wet, if that gold's, or I mean not the gold, but the pearlescent stuff, the glitter, I wonder if it settles and it off colors it. Because that made it look like it was turning gold or something. This one is called Brown Red, so this one should be kind of a maroon color probably. It's pretty maroon. Kind of a tangy maroon. It got just a bit of tang to it. This one is Wine Red Satin. Next we've got Network Purple. That's an interesting name. Network Purple. Ooh, that's a mauve color. I love mauve. I'm gonna be really excited to see that one. I think this one is probably gonna look good on both black and white. We'll see. I really like these purples. So it's gonna be kind of like a reddy purple probably. Ooh, yeah. That is smexy if I do say so. I like that a lot. I would wear that on my eyes as like an eyeshadow. Okay, this one is just purple. Ooh, this one left some sticky stuff on there. Gross. I'm sure it won't hurt anything though. We shall see, I guess. Boop. Honestly, the regular purple has a pretty red tint to it too. Kind of a brownish in a way, but on black it is a true purple. On white it's not, which is interesting. Okay. This one is Purple Satin. And I will say, man, you know, I've had these for a couple years now and never used them. I've always wanted to use them, I just haven't had a reason to pull them out yet. They stay good, so I mean, I would definitely tromp some thrift stores or something. Anytime you see some paints and you're like, man, I don't know if that paint's any good. Couldn't hurt for a couple bucks to try it out or something. Like, I got these on Amazon, but I mean, if these are lasting me years not using them, if somebody else gets rid of them, Okay. This one is Color Red. Color Red is actually its name, I'm not saying the color red, I'm saying Color Red. To me that looks more pink, but we'll see. I think whenever you add glitter to stuff, it's hard to get a true color out of anything. Okay, so let's try it out here. Yeah, that's more of a pinky red to me. I think one thing I would say is next time I swatch these, I think I would make bigger sections, like maybe do like a giant rectangle or something to switch these in, which would probably take up multiple pages, but it might be worth it just to see it in a bigger amount. But I mean, these look pretty good too. I'm not really worried about it. But if you're somebody who really, really wants to see what these look like, I would do a bigger square than what I'm doing. So this one was, ooh, that's hard to read. Pink, just pink. So we'll try that out. That's pretty. That's another one that would be a pretty makeup color. I'm over here doing this and now I'm thinking about makeup. Okay, and then here's our last one from this side. And this last one is called Rose Red. Make us want to think of Beauty and the Beast. Ooh, that's pretty. It's a very 90s lipstick color. Get down there, buddy. All right. So now we've got a whole entire side done, which is great. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna dry that, and then I'll hold it up so you can see that side that we just did. And then I will continue on to the very last side. I think this is going pretty good so far. It's getting what I wanted out of it, which is great. Oh yeah, I was gonna dry it first, hold on. That way the colors don't move on me. Here. So I'm gonna pick this up and just I'm gonna kind of tilt it a little bit so you can see that glitter in there. Yeah, so that turned out pretty nice. So now we'll do this other side and we'll do it the same exact way. Colors out. Oops, I think my brush is under there. Okay. Make sure we're in frame. We are. Cool. All right. So the next one is called, oh, it's getting harder to read. Grape Myrtle. That glitter is very hard to see. So Grape Myrtle. Ooh. Ooh, look at that color. That's pretty. I will say I love how easy these are mixing together. That's pretty nice. And I don't see much separation of the glitter and the paint, which is also a good thing in my opinion. Wow. Whoa. I was not expecting that glow. That is cool. These are two completely different colors on black and white. That's amazing. This is almost like a blue over here, like a royal blue with like a purpley sheen. And then over here, it's the purple color that you would think from the title. That's beautiful. Ha-cha-cha, as the great Mortimer Mouse would say. Oops, that one doesn't want to go back in. Well, goodness. Let's see here. Sometimes if I can get it to go under, I can get it to pop back in. There we go. That's just a little hard to do. Maybe I'll do it like this so I can get a better grip on it and just go backwards like that. Because I don't want to mix up my numbers with my colors there. Oops. One moment, my vacuum just turned on. Let me go turn it off so it doesn't interrupt. Alright, sorry about that. I just didn't want it to go clunking around next to me. Alright, let's see here. This one is called Symphony Purple. So it looks like it's going to be a deep purple of some sort. Uh-oh. That one almost broke off. Okay. That wrapper thing. See, the wrapper ripped a little bit. Oh. There we go, we got her. Okay. This one to me looks more purple than the true purple, but let's see what it does for us. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh. Okay. It's kind of a lavender on white. Come on, go back in there, sir. There we go. This one is copper. This is the color they're saying is copper. And don't worry, even though this is setting on top of it, I already dried it with the heat gun, so none of that's gonna move anymore. No worries. Okay. Oh, so that's kind of like a green blue almost. I wonder what color it's gonna be on the white. Huh, and then it's like purple on the white. That's interesting. Once again, two completely different colors. These are beautiful, but I question the names. I think I would have, instead of giving them real color names, I would have like given them some fairy names or something. Like named them after things instead of colors, because that's too much pressure for this glitter to be named like that. Let's see here. This one is Symphony Blue. Ooh, that's gonna be pretty. All of these are pretty. I don't know why I keep saying that, but yeah, I love glitters and stuff, so I just think it's very pretty. Very girly pretty. Let's try her out here, get some water in there. Ooh, that's an awesome blue. It's nice. Okay, so this one is called Deep Interference Blue. Nice pull on that one. So it's more of a true blue in my opinion. Let's see here. This one is called Flash Blue. This is like a Cinderella, like very light glittery blue. This one is gold blue. Ooh, that's nice. I almost see some kind of green tones in that one. I wonder if it's because, you know, gold is pretty close to yellow, so it's probably going to have kind of a greeny look to it. Let's test her out and find out. Ooh, yeah. I would say so. It has some green tones to it for sure, on the black at least. That's very pretty. I can't wait for that one to dry and look at a little bit closer. Okay. This one is called Shiny Blue. That is very shiny, I agree. It's interesting on white, these three colors look really similar to me, like maybe off by just a little bit. This one is called Deep Interference Green. Oops, I keep accidentally popping it back down. There we go. Kind of like an eyeshadow type green. This reminds me of an eyeshadow. When I was a little girl, I used to play around in my grandma's makeup, and it reminds me of some of the eyeshadows she had. She had like the creamy greens. Okay. That would also look good on a mermaid, really. Like a mermaid coloring book page or something. Would be pretty. Alright, this one is Symphony Blue. Didn't we already have one named Symphony Blue? I swear we did. You're renaming colors on us. Oh, I bet I'm thinking about Symphony Purple. That's probably what I was thinking of, because that purple turned out blue. Let's try it. Okay. Well, that just looks like pure glitter. Let's see. Okay, so this is definitely one that you'll want to use on white, unless you're just looking for a hint. And I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but the black on here is just black acrylic paint. I'm just painting on top of acrylic to see what it looks like. This color is fruit green. Oh, this is another one that looks like an eyeshadow. That reminds me of my grandma. I bet this will be a pretty color. I like what the palette looks like anyway, but as we've seen, we don't know what these actually look like, so we'll see. Take a look here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I like that one a lot. Okay, so after this one, we're officially done with one half of this last part. This one, ooh, that's like a gold green, and it is called Gold Green. How ironic. That's good. I approve of this one's name. Okay. Huh. Okay, so that's mostly gold on the black. And then here, it's mostly green. Okay. Okay. I see you, boo. All right. So then we're gonna turn this around so I can get to these other colors here. Okay. This one is called Golden Maroon. Okay. Well, I see the gold. I'm not seeing the maroon though. To me, that's a green. We'll see. Might pull differently depending on what we use here, so who knows. Oh, there's a piece of dirt there. Get out of there. I don't know where that came from. Shouldn't have been on my brush. Weird. Yeah, this is more green than it is maroon. But, you know, when I do it on the white, depending on what angle it's at, I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not, but there is some maroon glitter in that. I do see the maroon glitter now, but it's more of a green. So it's like a green with maroon glitter, like maroon sparkle to it. Interesting. All right. Oh, I broke a nail. Interesting. My bad. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Let's talk about this one. This one is brown green. Ooh. I don't know about that color. We'll have to see how that one paints because it's a little ugly from here. It's like a swamp. Let's see here. That one's definitely got some brown pulling in it though. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is interesting. On the black, you can see more of the green, and then on the white, that's where you really get that strong brown. Good to know. Yeah. All right, this one is dark brown. you. This has some more of that nasty residue from the sticky stuff they used on this. I don't like that. But like I said, I don't think it's actually gonna hurt anything. So this one was dark brown. It just makes a really nasty texture. And it makes it sticky. So that's got some brown glitter to it. It's dark, all right. With this one, I would be careful with water. If you get too much water, it seems like it makes it too light. But there is a bit of brown in there. It's just a very muddy color. Okay. Oops, I accidentally got some blue on that. There we go. This one is Flashing Copper Brown. Yeah, it's pretty coppery, all right. I agree with this copper more than I do the other one. Pretty. Yeah, that's a true copper in my opinion, and it's doing pretty similar colors on both for that one. It's not really a mystery there. Pretty good. Nice color. After these dry a little bit, or I mean after I finish with these, well, I'll just show you. So what I mean by that sticky stuff is, look at that. You can see the sticky. That stuff right there is not from my paintbrush. That is from taking these off because they're sticky all throughout. So if that bothers you, that's something to know. Oops, crackers. That tried to fall under my table. All right, here we go. This one is just called Brown. So that's what it looks like right there. Yeah, that's a pretty nice brown. It's kind of a reddy brown, but I would consider that a true brown, so I agree. This one is Silver Gray. Oh yeah, pretty silvery. Ooh, that looks really nice on that black. Yeah, this one shows up really good regardless of where it is. Nice. And it looks like both of them are pretty similar in color. This has slightly a blue tint to it, whereas this is more silver on the white. Almost done here, guys. Okay. This one is Silver Black. So it's just kind of like a nickel-y color. Ooh, that's deep. I like that. I like that. It's like a coal. Like a charcoaly black, because the silver in it makes it the charcoal, I think. Okay. Then, ooh, yeah, that one had a lot of residue on it. We don't want that in our colors. Flip this. We just got 4 more colors left here. Okay, this one is called Silver Black. So another kind of deep toned one. That one shows up pretty nice. This one's pretty true on both sides. To me, these two colors look really similar, so that's pretty cool. All right, this next one is Flash Purple. So this one's a really deep mauve color. It looks like mauve mixed with black and silver, really. You tell I just like saying the word mauve. You could also call it maybe a deep lavender look to it. It gets more lavendery as you wipe into it. It's pretty. I like that one. This one is Pearl is Golden. Pearl is Golden. Oh, that's a really pretty gold. That looks like that might be more of a true gold, possibly. We'll see what it does. Yeah, I like that one better on the black, I think. But it is more of a true gold. And honestly, with how hard these are, like, I would just do it in whatever order you have these sitting in the tray in. Like if you're gonna swatch your own. Because these are made to like stay in their spots, really. Like they're not gonna be moving around a lot. So I would just do that, and then as long as you never move them again, you really don't need the names of them on here. I even put the color. It's like on the fronts of these little doohickeys, it just says what color number it is, and then it has the name on the side. So this one's Gem Red. Gem Red is our last one. But, oh no, am I missing one? What happened? No, we went out of order. Oh, so this one is actually going to be my last one. Oh no, we went out of order because dark green hid from us. Guess what I could do is just slide everyone down one. Well, ain't that the pits, but luckily I can just scooch them over. They won't move directly over. I have to actually physically take them out because there is a little thing in here that's preventing it from moving. These things up here. But I can get them to move over one. Honestly, since that The last ones down here aren't very color coded anyway. It's okay. Gotta be a little bit careful though. Some of these are still wet. So I don't want to accidentally dip colors into one another. Crisis is being averted though. Get in there, little funny. Little funny bunny. Can't believe I didn't notice that. That's funny. Oh well. All is fair in love and paint, I guess. Alright. So let's do this gem red and then we'll try that green and see what it looks like too. Ooh, that pulls nice. Gem red. Very nice. And now our real last one is going to be dark green. Yeah, pretty dark, pretty green. All right, so let's get these puppies dried. Take these out of the way here. So I'm just gonna tuck them back in here. And I'm gonna put it to where if I read it left from right, it's the same way in our book. So I'm gonna put it like this. And then to pull it back out, there's this little strip thing here. There we go. And then we'll dry this off. So this is what side number 2 looked like. All right, guys. So we swatched a lot of stuff today. We did these markers. So we did all of these colors here, and we even tested the broad and the fine tips. We also did our Posca marker swatches as well as our Craft Smart, which honestly told me that the Craft Smart, look at that white versus the white Posca. Now this one's 5 years old, remember that, and this one's only a couple weeks old, or as long as it's been hanging on that shelf. So, you know, that could be the difference there, but that's a good thing to note. We also did our regular Paul Rubens, which are right here. Regular Pauls. And then we did all of our glittery ones. And we did it on white and black. It looks like we got a little smudge over here, but that's okay. We did pretty good. Well, if you stuck around, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!